Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. I'm enjoying my day off, preparing for the 4th of July festivities. I know the next couple of days at work, honestly, are going to be pretty busy, but honestly, the busier it is, the more fun it is. So I hope it's not one of those holidays where it's like we do a lot of work to get ready for it, and there's no real big payoff in the end. But I hope everybody is going out there and buying some fireworks and blowing them up and running around playing like it's a sandlot back in the day. 4th of July, when it comes down to it, is probably one of the most fun holidays of the entire year. Today's Tuesday. I know it's weird that I'm off on a Tuesday, but the 4th of July being on a Friday kind of made it where it was like, well, what 2 days am I going to have my days off be? But yesterday, Monday Night Raw, they also did the taping that led into SmackDown that's going to air on the 4th of July. We are going to talk a little bit about some spoilers that popped up on SmackDown. So if you're not wanting to hear those, turn the video off and come back Friday night or on Saturday. But I think they're pretty much out there. It's not like title changes or anything like that with the Saudi Arabia SmackDown. WWE just came out and was like, hey, watch SmackDown so you can watch Julia win the gold. I thought that was pretty freaking interesting. But I also remember when when Ryback turned on Cena back in the day during one of the London tapings, I'm pretty sure. They just came out and said, like, hey, Ryback just beat up John Cena. I think that was leading up until Survivor Series when Ryback joined the Authority, only for him to turn his back on the Authority and ended up joining Team Cena again in the long run, I'm pretty sure, is when that happened. But I know they did tell us hours before it happened as the hook. Like, even though the show's taped, make sure you watch it for this reason. But everything seems to either be pointing towards Saturday night's main event, which is going to be pretty fun coming up on the 12th. I think I'm going to make videos, leading up into the Saturday night's main event because I think it is going to be a really, really big deal. I understand that the wrestling universe will probably be pointed at All In, but as of right now, you've got Goldberg going up against Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. You've now got LA Knight against Seth Rollins, and CM Punk is not happy about that. But the next day, which is not running against All In because AEW doesn't run 2-day pay-per-views, which I'm really scared about that. I think that WrestleMania, when I'm sitting at home, it's kind of fun that the pay-per-views aren't 8 hours long and it's broken up over 2 days. Going there, I think it was a whole different experience. It was pretty fun. My heart starts getting a little bit racy, like getting into the arena. There's something like WrestleMania at Allegiant Stadium. Hopefully you guys went this year or you're going to go next year. I get nervous that the WrestleMania 32 deal is going to happen again, and I'm just not even getting into my seat and miss the entire pre-show. When I was there and I was doing everything right, I still don't understand what the hell happened that day. But the next day in Atlanta, same place, WWE is going to run the Evolution 2. I'm not sure if they're branding it as Evolution 2 or just Evolution 2026, or maybe they're not even referring to the year because they don't want to point at the gaps between the two pay-per-views. I think the first one happened in like 2017, maybe it happened in 2018. I can tell you this much. I skipped that pay-per-view. I really had no cares about it. The small clips that I have seen of it in the years, it looked like he was in a really, really small, really dark arena. It wasn't really shot like any other WWE pay-per-view. I wonder if the Evolution show is going to have the same look as the Saturday night's main event show because they're both being held at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta. I don't know. I think TKO is basically just going to put it out there and be like, this is women's wrestling. If you want to watch it, come watch it. If not, it is what it is. I don't know if They're running 2 shows in Atlanta because of the fact that they don't want people to travel to Texas, and they're just thinking that they're WWE homers. They're going to go there instead of going to All In, or if they think people aren't going to change the channel. But if you really wanted to keep people from watching All In, why wouldn't you run a 3-hour pay-per-view leading into Saturday night's main event? I don't know if you really want to break it up where you have the women's and the men's on 2 different days to sort of emphasize we care about women's wrestling. We haven't ran a women's pay-per-view in 6 years or whatever the heck it is, but we care about it. It's almost like the Give Divas a Chance hashtag that was on Raw back in like 2013 or 2014, whenever the heck that was. But that was a big deal. I look at this as, I don't think I'm going to watch this show. I don't want to come out and be like, I hate women's wrestling, blah, blah, blah. Women's wrestling bores me. There's a lot of good women's wrestling out there. There is. But it's a match, maybe 2 matches tops. I don't really know if they're going to be able to draw me in to make me super care about this show. As of right now, we know 4 matches that are going to be on the card. This is the point where I'm going to start talking about the SmackDown stuff. So if you really don't want to know, it is what it is. NXT, I'm not a avid watcher of NXT. I do look at the Twitter highlights that they post Tuesday nights that WWE will retweet on their account. But JC Jane, who is their champion, is going to be going up against Jordan Grace. I think there's no doubt in my mind that Jordan should win that belt at that show. But because of the fact, like, I remember following Jordan Grace on her ascent into wrestling. I remember knowing more about her before she got into TNA. And then, like, when she came out of TNA and she went to NXT, I was like, man, this is a huge thing. But I still just haven't paid attention. It's on me. It's my own thing. But we also know that there's going to be a women's tag championship match. We learned that because of Liv Morgan's injury, they're not going to strip the Judgment Day of their tag title. They're going to let one title stay with Raquel Rodriguez, and the other belt is going to go to Roxanne Perez. They all voted Roxanne in as a member of Judgment Day. But the GMs of Raw and SmackDown, they both said that we're going to do this, but immediately you're going to have to defend the belts at Evolution. You're going to be going up against Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair from SmackDown. And then NXT will be able to name a team, and as well as the Monday Night Raw will be able to name a team. I know that there's going to be a women's battle royal, and the winner of the battle royal will be given a championship match at the Clash in Paris. It really looked like it was going to be Liv Morgan versus Nikki Bella as one of the main matches for this show. I was wondering if they were going to bring in Brie and maybe put the tag titles on the line in that sort of a match. But with no Liv Morgan and the tag titles basically put into this multi-woman 4-corner 14 match, I don't really see Nikki Bella going to Raw and begging for a partner that's not going to make sense. And I don't really see Raw letting the Bellas be their choice into this match. So my guess is that Nikki is going to find some other place to be in there. Nikki Bella, I hate to rain on her parade, but everybody knows the news. She had to pay for the divorce. She had to give so much money right away, and then she also has to pay child support. Child support's kind of weird. It's not really like you have to give money for that person to raise your kid. They kind of look at where you are in life, and they try to balance out the 2 households. So it's not like one parent is able to give the world to the kid. So the husband makes less than Nikki Bella, even without her wrestling in WWE, because she hadn't been in WWE for a while. So I don't know how they balance it out, but she has to give like $4,000 a month. So how much is she going to be in WWE? I don't see her coming back and working full time. She has her own wine. She has her own like woman's clothing line. I think that's the way to put it. It might be sporting goods or something like that. But I remember the Birdie B thing that they had. And they have the podcast, and who knows how much a podcast actually brings in revenue. They basically have to split that by two, probably pay an editor and whoever else they have to pay out of that, but for that business. But I think it'd be one hell of a thing if Nikki Bella won that Battle Royal, and then she would go to Clash of the Champions. It doesn't say which championship they would go after. My guess is that she is not a Monday Night Raw or a SmackDown person. She's kind of a legend. She's already a Hall of Famer. But, would they let her pick which belt she wants to go over? Because as of right now, Io Sky, who's a really good champion, who honestly, since, let's say, January, February, since she came onto my radar, I remember I made the video just immediately being like, Rhea Ripley's going to crush her. I had no clue that she had been a former champion. I had no clue that she had beaten Rhea Ripley twice in NXT. But Io is going to put her belt up on the line against Rhea Ripley. One-on-one match, the match that we should have got at WrestleMania. I'm not sure this is going to be the main event, but I don't know what else you could put on this card that's going to be bigger than this. No doubt in my mind, they're going to have to find somewhere to put people like Michelle McCool, Lita. I think Ivory wrestled on the last one. I don't think that like Stacy Keibler or Tori Wilson is going to want to come back to wrestle, but we saw Kelly in a Royal Rumble not that long ago, so maybe she'll lace him up. But I think a lot of those people are not going to be in singles matches. They're going to come back like Goldberg saying they want one more match. I think they're going to end up being in that Battle Royal. But Io versus Rhea Ripley, it might be the biggest match because it's for the Raw Women's Championship. So honestly, in my mind, I think that it would be cool if Rhea Ripley won the belt in the main event. She is the most over woman in the women's division in WWE. You would kind of think that it's her division to run. But on SmackDown, we're going to find out that Tiffany Stratton, who was also given a choice to pick, she didn't even pick anybody on SmackDown she wanted to wrestle. She just flat out challenged her twin sister, Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus, there's a magazine article where she came out and she said that, like, she was looking through pictures in WWE and she's like, I've never worn that attire. How did you get this picture? She thought she was looking at a picture of her younger self. Trish has come back to wrestling ever since she retired 1,000 times. She popped up on Raw shortly after her retirement. Like, I think they would go to Toronto. She would be on the show, like, tagging with John Cena. She came back after Tough Enough. When Tough Enough was going to start coming back, she wrestled at WrestleMania 27 in the Snooki match. And then, of course, she's been in Royal Rumble. She's been in Battle Royals. She wrestled against Charlotte Flair at a SummerSlam. She wrestled against Becky Lynch. She had that run where she really came back to wrestling. It seemed like for a year, like she was like a main person on the main roster. I don't think Trish is gonna win. I'm all about bad girl Trish. Trish now, I'll debate you all day. I think Trish now looks better than she's ever looked in her whole entire life. I don't know if it's the yoga thing that's going on or she's drinking more water, but damn, that girl fine. That's all I gotta say. As of right now, like I said, I'm not really pumped about this pay-per-view. I'm more excited about Saturday night's main event with the Goldberg versus Gunther match. My excitement for All In is not very much. It's kind of one of those things if I watch it, I watch it, but I can see myself spending my Saturday kind of almost doing anything else other than watching wrestling that day. And then Sunday, I don't even know what time this thing starts. The pay-per-view poster is on the screen that I'm looking at. It starts at 4, so I have no excuses because I'm going to be home from work. I normally get home from work about 2:30 on Sundays. But right now, I don't see anything that really grabs me for Evolution. So call me crazy. Tell me what you think is going to be on this show that makes me jump up and down and scream, I got to watch Evolution 2025.